Hey, family. It is a blessing to be alive. And yes, it is a beautiful day because we're still here. I just wanted to talk about sexiness today. And I would like for you guys to comment because this could just very well be my opinion, and we all have them, just like we all have a tushy to sit on. We all have opinions, right? And I was thinking about the meaning behind the word sexy. Now, don't get me wrong, when friends are together, like me and my girlfriends or whatever, we're together, and one of us put on a nice outfit and it's flattering to the body, we have been known to say, "Girl, you're looking sexy," and we think nothing of it. And in that instance, it's just saying, "Girl, you're looking good," right? So why is it a difference when a man says you're sexy? Well, for me, I think it's a difference because, of course, he's the opposite sex and he's attracted to you. So when he uses the word sexy, you're thinking sex, right? So I'm not the type that like to be called sexy. Now, if you're with your man, yeah, you want him to be attracted to you in that way, right? Your husband. And so if he says you're sexy, it's like, "Oh, I am." You happy about it. It's a compliment. But what happens when you're just dating and on the first date, the man says that to you? How do you feel about that? Because when I was younger, I accepted it because it's what people said. And I brushed it off and it didn't matter to me. But once I started to live a righteous life, it took on a whole new meaning for me, and it bothered me. And I'm going to explain to you why. Now, for instance, there was a gentleman that I had met when I finally decided to open myself up to dating again. He was the first one I went on a date with. Well, second. And he wasn't really the type of guy that I liked, but just for opening up sake, I said, "Okay, he asked me out, let's go." Now, how I met him was at my church. There was a group that I would allow to come in and do rehearsals. And so during their rehearsal, he lived in the back of the church. He could hear everything. And he just decided to walk around because he enjoyed what he was hearing. So he came in the church and he was asking could he sit in. He lived around the corner. He always hear our church services, so and so and so forth. So they told him he could sit in the rehearsal. And so he was there. So now he's looking over at me. He was friendly enough. He came over, started chit-chatting with me. And he asked for my number. And I was like, I wasn't interested. Y'all know my story. I was so bad with just opening up and giving out my number. I was just tired of the whole scene of meeting some guy. But in any event, he was like, "Are you on Facebook?" I said, "Yeah." So we did that. He found me on Facebook, became friends on Facebook. I think it was his second message. No, it wasn't his second message. It was maybe the third that he had sent me on Facebook because he had come back to the church or whatever. And he said, "You were looking very sexy." And I'm like, what are you talking about? As a matter of fact, no. Let me backpedal. He came to the church during the service and I sing on the praise team. And he was making comments about my shoes and that I looked sexy. Now, this gentleman was supposed to be, now I'm not going to say that he's supposed to be. Let me fix my words. Let me choose better words. He was a keyboardist for a church. So naturally you assume he's playing for a church, he's a righteous man. But we shouldn't assume, right? Because there's devils in those buildings. Devils in these religions, right? But in my mind, I'm thinking, you met me in a church. I carry myself a certain way. But a man is gonna try you, right? So I got turned off. So I said to him, the use of the word sexy, I don't care for that word. Please don't use that word. He said, "Oh, no, it just means that you're beautiful." I said, "Well, I prefer that word. Use that one." And he said, "Okay, no hard feelings." But of course, he repeated it down the line later. Now, this is when I took offense because I said, "Please don't call me that." Because when you say sexy, the word sex is in the middle of that word. And because you're male and I'm female, I'm looking at it as you desire to bed me. And we're not going there. That's not going to happen. So I took it offensively. And then, like I said, you knew my character. Well, you don't know me like that, but you know where you met me. When you saw me, I was praising the Lord. And I guess nowadays it don't matter much because there's a lot of women that's in church and having sex all over the place as well. So because that's his type of lifestyle, He probably met a whole bunch of women in church whom he had vetted, and I was just one of many in his head. So I had to correct him. So by the time we went on our actual date, he was so forward, and it was such a turnoff. And you guys know it took me forever to date. And to come out of that non-dating mode and to go out with this guy, it was like, I see why I didn't date. The whole dating scene is so frustrating to me. So frustrating. I thank God I have a husband. And I thank God that I don't have a problem being alone, because the dating scene sucks. It's a lot to go through men to see which one is a fit for you. That's a lot, and it's tiring. I tell my husband all the time, if anything was to happen between you and I would go back to being celibate and being by myself. No problem with it. So the word sexy. Do you guys like to be called sexy? And I also had a gentleman. I tell you, I don't like calling people out. People who have family, people who have children, just in case they come across this video, I don't want to call people out. But this particular gentleman, like I said, he was in church too. We had known one another for years, did some music together, and we had always been friendly. And years down the line, he was sending me messages in Facebook. It had to do with music, and then it had to do with business as well. He was trying to get me on board. You know how they have those pyramid things, and those things never work out. I told him, if it work out for you, hit me back up, and I'll try to get on board. But in any event, when we were exchanging messages through that Facebook about that topic, he busts out of nowhere and sends a little message that says sexy. And I said, here we go again. And he was somebody that I respected, because like I said, we had known one another for years. And I don't know why these men like to try you like that. This man was married. It insults me, because I'm like, what am I giving off that makes you feel okay to talk to me like that? So that's insulting to me. So now I lose respect, because I'm like, I'm not giving off anything like that to cause you to talk to me that way. And so I said, did somebody hack your page? So he puts LOL. He said, no, it's me. I said, I would rather think somebody hacked your page, because what you just said, inappropriate. And he apologized. But I'm not for that. I think a lot of women, we crave so much attention, and men know it. And so they feel like they can say anything to you and anything will just fly. Well, I'm not the one. First of all, I've never liked a lot of attention. And I always told you guys that I never liked a lot of attention walking down the street, getting attention from these men. I didn't like it. I was never flattered by it, because you don't know me. So when you're looking at me, all you seeing is, I could get her in the bed. I can get her in the bed. Ooh, I want her. You don't want me because you love me. You don't want me because my character is wonderful. You don't want me because I have a great personality. You don't know these things. All you see is this. If it's to your liking, if that's what you like. All you see is my outside appearance. So when you're breaking your neck to get to know me, I'm not flattered. I'm not flattered, because all you want to do is another notch on your belt. So all of this desiring to be sexy, I don't know why y'all want to be sexy. You want everybody to lust after you? It's not a thrill for me. I don't need you lusting after me. I don't want to be considered just something somebody could lay with, get up, and go about their business and on to the next. Never thought that was a sexy thing. That's not sexy. Now, I know we use that word sexy. Sexy may have different connotations and meanings depending on how you're using it. Like I said, you know, us females, we call each other that all the time. Like, oh, girl, that dress looks sexy on you. You look sexy. We use that term, and maybe we shouldn't. But when it's amongst us, we know it's no harm, because we're not trying to be sexual with one another. Okay? That's not the kind of friends I hang out with. So we get that. But once a man starts saying that, and then he's looking at you in a certain way, it takes on a whole new meaning. It's a whole different thing. And so, and it don't even matter what you wear. I mean, sometimes you could be wearing, I got on a long dress now down to my ankles. It doesn't even matter what you wear. And it's not fitting. It's not showing off my curves. Sometimes you can't hide your curves. It don't even matter, because if you have some type of shape, the curves are going to show. You can't hide yourself. You're not going to wear a potato sack. So men like what they like. But I always desired for men to approach with respect. Because even if you're thinking that, don't say that. Get to know the woman and see what she's about. Because see, if she's about something, you already turned her off, and that's the end of that. But I guess these types of men don't care about that, because that's all they want. Let me test her and see what she's about. I'm gonna throw this out there and throw that out there. If she giggle and she smile and say thanks, I got her. So I guess this is how they do their testing, to test you to see what you're about. I don't know. I don't know about how you ladies feel. How do you feel about being called sexy by a man? How do you feel about it? I would sure love to hear see your comments, because you know, sometimes I think I'm in a box by myself in reference to the way I think, you know. And some people say I overthink things sometimes, and I probably do. But I'm me, right? I can't be nobody else but me. And I'm just wondering what you guys think about that. What do you think about your best friend's husband calling you sexy? Would your father call you sexy when he's complimenting you? Would your brother call you sexy when he's complimenting you? Is that proper? So there's like a line, a fine line that should not be crossed. And I know men don't call each other sexy. Ooh, man, you looking sexy tonight. You know, that's something that we women do. I hope y'all men ain't call one another sexy. It begins to get inappropriate in certain situations if you get my drift. That's why I said it's like some fine line that shouldn't be crossed. I don't know. You guys tell me how you feel about it. I would rather not be called sexy. If you find somebody is looking nice, you like what they have on and looking good, say, oh, you're looking good today. Oh, I like that outfit. That's a pretty dress. Wow. Looking stunning. Looking beautiful. To me, there are so many other words that you can use to say that somebody is looking A-okay for the day. You don't have to use the word sexy. But I think a connotation comes along with that I just ain't so fond of. But it could just be me. It could just be me, y'all. It could just be me. As I said, a lot of women enjoy being called sexy. They do everything in their power to get attention. All of us are not like that. We are not all created equal in that regard. All right, y'all. I am done. And I'm about to say goodbye. Peace, love, and blessings to you, family.